Retro.
Are you an aspiring Jedi, or do you dabble with the dark side of the Force?
Regardless of whether you fancy yourself a defender of the light or an aspiring Sith Lord, you're going to need a lightsaber.
Podcast Stardust is pleased to partner with Saber Masters, the creators of high-quality, durable, and affordable lightsabers.
Saber Masters is preparing to launch the Ultimate Lightsaber 2.0, and right now you can get 2 for the price of 1.
So, check out the link in our show notes and go get your Ultimate Lightsabers from Saber Masters.
And don't forget to use our referral code Stardust to save $10 at checkout.
And each purchase using our referral code helps support Podcast Stardust.
What's up, guys? This is Daniel Logan, Boba Fett from Attack of the Clones, The Clone Wars, Book of Boba, Skywalker Saga game, and hopefully many more things in the Star Wars galaxy. You are listening to Jay and Dennis on Podcast Stardust. Yep, this is the way I've spoken.
Hello, happy summer, and welcome to Podcast Stardust. This is the fully armed and operational podcast dedicated to Star Wars news, reviews, and discussion. I'm Dennis Keithley.
And I'm Jay Krebs.
And we are back with some more of the Phantom Menace trivia in this episode. But before we dive into the questions, Jay, remind everybody where we can be found around the internet.
Yay, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Podcast Stardust.
All right, the dish is aligned, the signal is boosted to maximum output, the shield is down, and we are now broadcasting to the galaxy. So on our last episode, which we recorded 20 minutes ago, I surprised Jay with some trivia about the Phantom Menace that corresponded to our series that we're doing on the Phantom Menace. And those questions, those first 12 were from part 1, which we released back in January, and I'll try and put corresponding episode numbers in our show notes so you can go back and listen to those if you want. This batch of questions, which will be 24 of them, is from part 2 of our Phantom Menace series, which covers the portion of the movie that runs from 10 minutes and 46 seconds to 21 minutes and 33 seconds. So there's the setup. And that portion of the movie started with Qui-Gon meeting Jar Jar Binks. So you can kind of roughly ground you where we are in the movie. You ready for some trivia, Jay?
Absolutely. I love for trivia. So much fun.
Okay. I have a feeling you're doing pretty well on these. So,
thank you.
Question number 1. What does Qui-Gon say is not a sign of intelligence?
The ability to spec.
Very good. The ability to speak does not make one intelligent.
Another one of my quotes that I used to use on my quote of the day in my classroom. So if you haven't listened to the last episode of trivia, you have to go back and do that to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You know, just having seen this movie in the theater, it was really cool seeing those transports on the big screen, and not so much seeing them as hearing them in the surround sound with all that vibration and the humming noises they make. So
definitely.
Okay. Question number 2. Who does Jar Jar say demands that he repay a life debt to Qui-Gon?
The gods.
Very good. You're 2
Yay.
for 2.
Woohoo.
Commanded by the gods, it is.
Yes.
So, question number 3. How many battle droids does Qui-Gon destroy that Obi-Wan was running from in the swamp?
Ooh. Let me think. How many battle droids does he destroy? I don't know. I'm going to guess 3.
The answer is actually 2.
2. Okay. I was close. I was trying to replay the scene in my head and apparently not being very successful with that. I was close.
You know, number questions like that are some of the most difficult trivias because you do have to sit there and envision the scene in your head and how it plays out. And so, yeah, I find that those tend to be challenging. Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Question number 4. When Obi-Wan asks, "What's this?" after seeing Jar Jar, what does Qui-Gon say Jar Jar is?
A native?
Close.
Oh, wait, hold on. I can't remember.
A local.
A local. Okay, see that threw me off.
Yeah, but that
A
native was
local.
pretty
He's a
close.
local. Yes, I was on the right track. Boy, I'm
Mhm.
failing already here.
Oh, it's hard. You're on the spot. You didn't even know this was happening.
I'll tell you what, though, I am the kind of person that when I'm watching things like Jeopardy, I'm like, I know that. Like, I'm giving all the answers. Like, but then when I'm on the spot and I have to think of it, my brain pan just goes like, "Reh," like screeching halt sometimes. I
You
hate
know,
that about myself.
the last time I really did trivia was on on the cruises I go on, and you're exactly right. It's like you read the questions like online or somewhere, and you're not like in a contest or anything. Like, oh yeah, I knew that, knew that, knew that. But then there's like a competition involved, and suddenly you're second guessing yourself and you're drawing blanks, and it's
Yeah.
that little added bit of pressure makes all
Yeah.
the difference in the world.
Well, I have to say though, it's a good thing, just pull back the curtain, that we're not doing this when we normally record, which is at like 10 o'clock at night after
Yeah.
I've taught all day, because I'm usually down to my very last brain cell. So at least I have a little bit more clarity right now, but I don't know, maybe I should use that excuse.
All right. Well, we'll see how this goes here. I have
Yeah.
a good feeling about this next question. What does Jar Jar say is the safest place to go after hearing more droids might show up?
To the Naboo, like to his home.
Can you be more specific?
To Ganga City.
Very good. Gunga
There we
City.
go.
You got it. It's the safest place to go. Gunga City.
Ganga City.
You're right.
Love Jar
Okay.
Jar.
But immediately after that, he decides he can't take him to Gunga City. So why can't Jar Jar take the Jedi to Gunga City?
No. Misa can't go. Misa. Well, he said clumsy, but that was later.
Mm-hmm.
Bombad Nas. No, want him.
Why? What did the clumsiness result in happening to him?
He was ousted. He was banished.
Banished.
There we go. There it was. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Way to go, Jay.
4 of 6. You're doing good. Doing good.
So I just have to talk it out. It's all good. It's all good.
Okay. This next one involves one of my favorite quotes from the Phantom Menace. What 3 things does Obi-Wan tell Jar Jar the droids will do to them if they find them?
They will smash them to pieces and blast them to oblivion. And there's a third one.
You actually combined the first 2.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good. Because I was like, okay, that's 2, but I got it. Yay!
Close, yeah. I'm going to give this one to you, but the quote is: "If they find us, they will crush us, grind us into tiny pieces, and blast us into oblivion."
There we go.
You
He's
said
very
smash
generous.
us into tiny pieces, so I'm going to give
Same
you that one.
sentiment. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
I'm grading on a curve here. All right. Question number 8. What does Jar Jar tell the Jedi they shouldn't expect once they get to Gunga City?
To be welcomed, because they are outsiders.
Yes, a warm welcome. That is correct. Oh, don't worry. This hasn't been our day for warm welcomes.
Yes. Love it.
Which Gungan confronts, this is question 9, which Gungan confronts Jar Jar and the Jedi upon entering Gunga City?
Is that Tarful?
Captain Tarpals. Very good.
Or not Tarful, Tarpals. Yes, Tarful. Tarful's a Wookiee. Sure, it was Captain Tarpals. That's exactly what I said.
Okay. This one is another counting question, so it might be a challenge.
Okay.
Including Boss Nass, how many bosses are in attendance when Qui-Gon addresses them in Gunga City after their arrival?
Oh my gosh, I paid more attention to this when I was in the theater. So wait, let me envision this in my head. I'm going to say 7.
The answer is 5.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, the counting ones are the tricky ones.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, because your brain sets it up based off camera angles. There's only a couple instances where all 5 of them are actually on screen at the same time. And you're typically looking at Boss Nass, and then you might see one to his left or his right, or you might just see Boss Nass. But it's only the establishing shots that really give you the layout that there's 5 of them that are there.
Well, thank you. Once again, you're being very gracious. I appreciate it.
Okay. Question number 11. What is the reason Boss Nass gives for not liking the Naboo?
Misa no like the Naboo. They think they are better than us.
Close. You got the first part of the quote right.
They don't care about us.
They think they are so smarty. They think their
They
brains are
smart.
so
That's what it
big.
is. Their brains are so big. They are
Yeah.
better than us. Okay.
Okay. Question number 12. How does Qui-Gon convince Boss Nass to let them go?
Because Jar Jar owed them the life debt.
What
And
does what
oh,
does
because they're
Qui-Gon do?
symbionts. He says that they're what happens to one happens to the other. And so
That's
they
actually Obi-Wan that says that.
okay. Oh shoot. Um
You're trying to think of a quote. Qui-Gon actually does something.
oh, he actually force tricks him.
Yep, Jedi mind trick.
Force yeah, Jedi mind trick. Yes.
Mhm.
You used to
Okay.
giving us a transport. Transport would be we give you a bongo. There it is.
We could use a transport. Okay. Well, you're going to get this next one for sure. What kind of transport does Boss Nass give the Jedi?
A bongo.
Very good.
Yay.
So that's question number 13. You got 9 of 13 right now.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I'm fairly confident you'll get
Terrible.
this one too. What is the fastest way to Naboo from Gunga?
Through the planet core.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
Which I always thought was very interesting. But, Star Wars is known for its, geographical kind of anomalies that an entire planet could survive with a water core. But it's very cool.
Yeah, I always wanted to see like a map of Naboo because I'm like, you're going through the molten core of the planet, and I don't think that's literally what they meant.
Mhm.
Because when you think about it, they later in the movie, when the Gungans team up with with Padme, they do kind of have to march on Theed, and
Mhm.
they all couldn't have gone through the planet core like
Right.
that.
Oh, yeah.
So it had to be within a closer distance than that. And so I think the core is not technically what we think of as the planet core. So, but hey,
Mhm.
if someone knows otherwise, feel free to prove me wrong.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Question number 15. How does Qui-Gon convince Boss Nass to let Jar Jar go?
Oh, that was because he owed him the life debt.
Very good. You got
Yes,
that
yes,
one. Okay.
yes. He
See,
owes us what your people call a life debt.
yeah. See, it's important I keep these questions in order because some of them are answer the others. So,
True. Very true.
okay. And I don't think you're going to have any problems with this next one. It's also on the easy side. In short, why was Jar Jar banished from Gunga City?
Because he was clumsy.
Yes. He might say, me
He's
clumsy.
a clumsy. And then he goes through that whole the hey blibber and the yeah, I'm not even gonna attempt to recollect that. But in Jar
Mash the
Jar's
Hiblibber. And didn't was banished.
love it.
Okay. This next question actually has a bonus. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
What is the name of the creature that it's attached itself to the bongo with its tongue? And it's got a common name and a more formal name. Can you give me both?
Okay.
One is,
Gooberfish
yep, that's the common name.
and oh shoot, I can't think of the other one. It's escaping me. As soon as I hear it, I'll probably go, "Oh yeah, there it is."
It's the Opie Sea Killer.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
OPC killer. Okay, yeah, Gooberfish
I
is the only one I knew then.
yeah, I knew that, but I was double checking this question. Well, let me phrase that. I had known that at one point, but I was double checking this question by looking it up on Wikipedia to make sure that gooberfish wasn't just some nonsense that
Mm.
Jar Jar was saying.
Making it up.
And
Mhm.
then it redirected me to OPC killer. So
Okay.
there you go. So we
Yay.
learned something every day.
Yes, I did.
Well, speaking of the gooberfish, what creature ate the gooberfish that attached itself to the bongo?
A bigger fish.
That is correct. What is it?
There's always a bigger fish.
And what might
Um,
that bigger fish have been called, Jay?
wow. I don't know.
The answer is a Sando aqua monster.
Okay, that's the one that if I heard it, I would know what it was. Okay, Sando
Right.
Aqua Monster. Okay, yes, that's ringing a bell now.
And Darth Vader slaughtered one of those in the pages of the most current volume of the Darth Vader comic, which
Oh.
remember when they, because we talked about
Mhm.
these,
I
he went with the
do.
Amidalans down to that underwater
Yep.
vault, and then they were ambushed by. It was a way of getting him ambushed by the Aqua Monster, and then he destroyed it, which the little droid that's working with him predicted would be the end of that species within 700 years, since they are
Yes.
very large and very few in
I
between.
do remember that now. Yes. Good call.
Okay. So, what does Qui-Gon say in response to the goober fish getting eaten?
There's always a bigger fish.
Very good.
Which is another quote I love. Qui-Gon is so quotable. He's got so many
Mhm.
great little quips.
Okay, why doesn't Newt Gunray tell Darth Sidious about the missing Jedi that were traveling through the planet core? Or what excuse does he give?
That they will turn up eventually. Hold on. Let me think about this for just a second. We can't tell him. Well, I want to say that he will kill them, but
Mhm.
he will eliminate us. I can't remember the exact wording. Help me out.
There's no need to report that until we have something to report.
Something to report. That's what it
Mhm.
is. Yes. Yes. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I am not getting this here.
Well, these are more difficult than the first round. So,
Oh, you're kind.
this one is also going to be a challenge. So,
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
just going to put that out there. What is the name of the creature was in the cave? I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. What is the name of the creature that was in the cave Jar Jar and the Jedi stopped in to make repairs to the bongo?
It was that big like eel thing.
Mm-hmm. That's you got the right description. Do you know what it's called?
Big eel thing. I like that one. Apparently, Jay doesn't know.
That should be what it's called, big eel thing, but it's actually called a colo clawfish.
Oh, okay. Now that you say that one is yeah, gooberfish. I'd never heard the actual name for, but the other two do sound familiar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay, what color is the dress Queen Amidala is wearing when the droids invade Theed?
Red,
Yeah, and
red invasion dress. That's what it's
the
called.
reason why I even bothered to make this a trivia question because like the next scene we see her and she's wearing that black dress with like the
Mhm.
feather head part on. It's like, so you got invaded and you decided to change clothes? Uh,
It's easier to walk in. Those little globes at the bottom of that dress are not exactly very easy to maneuver about.
yeah, I mean, I guess when we saw spoilers for the Phantom Menace, when we saw the Queen in this scene, it was actually Amidala, and when we see her
Right.
the next time, it's her decoy. So
Exactly.
that makes it make more sense. But you have to stop and
Mhm.
think about it for a second.
Mhm.
Okay, let me
And,
make
I asked Colby Wine after we got to see The Phantom Menace in the theaters, I said, "Did you know that there was a decoy? Was it when you were a kid, did you realize that there was a decoy, and how much of a reveal," of course, skipping ahead, was it that Padme came out and said, "No, I am the queen?" He said, "I that was new information to me as a kid." He said, "I didn't realize that." And
Mhm.
he said, "Of course, I came to know it eventually," but he said, "I remember the first time seeing that it was like, 'What?'"
Yeah, and we'll take it aside here. We only got 2 questions left, anyways. But that is one of the things I wish they'd done a little bit better, protecting that information in there and not so blatantly telling us Natalie Portman was the Queen
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
all of this because under that makeup, it could have been anybody, and it would have been later till. But from the get go, she was cast as Luke and Leia's mom.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
it's kind of like when you get to Attack of the Clones, and it's no secret that Dooku is a Sith by the
Right.
time you get to the theater and before you even see him. So,
Right. But I
yeah.
do think that they learned a lot from what kinds of information they put out there and decided
Mhm.
not to put out there, because even in the original soundtrack, you got, Qui-Gon's noble end, Qui-Gon's
Mhm.
funeral, and that was before the movie even came out. I was like, "Oh, well, okay then." You know?
Yeah, I didn't know he was going to die when I saw the movie the first time,
I didn't
and
either because I didn't have the soundtrack,
yes,
but
I didn't also hadn't picked up the soundtrack yet either. So,
Mhm.
but I also
But
got
there
to see
were
the
those
movie.
that did.
Yeah, I got to see the movie 2 weeks in advance. I'm not even sure the soundtrack was out at that point. So.
Ah, okay.
But okay, question number 23. We're almost done. What is Newt Gunray's response when informed the Queen has been captured?
Victory is ours.
Well, victory to be more
Ah,
precise.
victory.
But you got
Yes.
the key word, so I'm giving it to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Victory is mine.
How many ducks were in the water when the bongo emerged to the surface? This one's not fair, I know, but I
What's a
needed a
duck?
24th question.
What's a duck? There's an old joke. Haven't you ever heard that joke? What's a duck?
No, I don't think I have
Okay,
actually.
4.
Bingo, you got it.
Yes! Yes! That was kind of a total guess.
Well,
Finally got
hey,
one right.
it's not a bad guess, but there are 4, and that was supposed to be my difficult one for this round.
Ooh, that was luck. I'll admit, that was total luck.
Well, you got 17 out of 24, which is more than 70%. So,
Yay, I improved from the last time. I'm
indeed.
so proud of myself.
Yeah, but there was I threw some challenging ones in there. And then because they were that challenging, I had to balance them out with some easy ones. And you did a good job. You got some of the you got
Well,
some of the
thank
tough ones
you.
there. So,
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, the whole "What's the duck" thing
mhm.
comes from the novelization, of the Phantom Menace.
Oh, yes, right. Okay. Yeah, now that I remember that. Okay.
Mhm. When, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Well, we'll be covering the novelization some point this year
What's
too.
a duck?
So we'll have to make
Yay,
sure we bring it up then.
awesome.
All right. Well, with that, I want to say thank you all for listening to this episode of Podcast Stardust and some more Phantom Menace trivia. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, we want to hear about it. How'd you do on those questions? What was your score out of the 24? And let us know on one of our social media contacts. Jay will be sharing those in just a second. But before we do that, I'd like to invite you all to subscribe to the podcast if you haven't done so already. We've got a couple more trivia episodes coming up while we're on vacation before we get back and start getting into the Acolyte and other current news events that are happening. And I'd like to remind you, you can find our entire catalog of shows over on retrozap.com, which is home to several other great podcasts covering everything from the MCU and DC to Dune, Star Trek, and a whole lot more. We are always appreciative of your 5-star ratings and reviews on your podcatcher of choice, especially if that's Apple Podcasts. And we are very appreciative of when you share the show on social media with your friends. So that's a great way of helping other people notice it. So with those things having been said, Jay, remind everybody where we can found online.
Sure. So if you want to chastise me, make fun of me, or even congratulate me on my knowledge or lack thereof of the Phantom Menace, you can do that on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Podcast Stardust. And also congratulate Dennis for all the great questions, too. And we are on Pinterest, and you can check out a bunch of fun boards there. And we also have 2 different YouTube outlets. So we have the regular YouTube and YouTube Music. So head over to both of those, like, subscribe, and share those out. And you can also leave reviews there as well as on Spotify. So please do so. And then we're also on Discord. So if you want to talk to us in real time and let us know how you did, or maybe even bounce some other trivia questions back and forth, the link to that will be in our show notes. And we also have a link for our TeePublic store where you can pick up one of 7 different show logo designs that are available. We should have one with the tower and a duck flying over it. I think that should be our new logo. So every one of those purchases does help to support the show. And you can also support the show if you are in the market for a new lightsaber, to go to sabermasters.com. And if you are checking out, make sure you put the code Stardust in at checkout and you will get $10 off of your purchase. And you're, once again, also helping us out in the process. So with that, Dennis, let everybody know where else they can find you online and in your other podcast projects.
Right. So my wife and I are talking Star Trek on our Star Trek podcast called Warp Trails. It is a seasonal show. And so basically it comes out when there is a current Star Trek show on Paramount Plus. So we just wrapped up, or will be wrapping up, our coverage of season 5 of Discovery. And then we'll be getting to the 5th and final season of Lower Decks, which comes out in August or September. I can't remember which. Doesn't really matter at the moment. But if you want to find our past episodes looking at Strange New Worlds, previous seasons of Discovery and Lower Decks and Picard, then just head over to retrozap.com. Jay, where can everybody find everything that you're up to?
All right. Well, with my cosplay, you can catch me on Instagram at j.snipscosplay. And I am over there as Ahsoka, the Fourth Sister, 2 different versions of Hera, as well as my original concept Mandalorian. And you never know what else you're going to find. So trying to keep busy with some events and some volunteering. I'm also volunteering with Rubber City Cosplay. So I have a lot more cons that I will be attending and helping out with as well. So if you want to check out all the places that I will be, as well as all the other things I have going on with my costuming and cosplay, once again, you can do that at j.snipscosplay.
All right. So yeah, normally I tell you what's upcoming on the show. Looks like the next episode will be trivia. Beyond that, I can't really tell you at this time because again, we're recording these a month in advance at this point. So but we'll be getting back into the Acolyte and stuff very soon. So with that having been said, thanks for listening to this episode of Podcast Stardust and our take on some Phantom Menace trivia. Have a great day, and until next time, may the Force be with you.